Hi, I'm Rob, and it's really good to see everybody here. I've been really touched by the presentation so far that I've listened to. And David, thanks for having me be part of this. I still remember our first coffee in Chelsea Market, so we need to do that again. And yeah, look, my story about how I got into the VC world, I guess this isn't a funny thing, but I'm the son of a Holocaust survivor. And he survived in part because of his medical background, medical training. And so his dream was for me to become a doctor. I was accepted into medical school, but that wasn't my dream. So I ended up not following through with that program. And he eventually started talking with me, but it took a while. And I ended up going into the Wall Street world and became a hedge fund manager, invested in a women's plus-size retailer, and I was an activist investor, so I have a calm demeanor, but activism can be kind of aggressive, and so I have both sides, I guess. In any event, I learned about the obesity and chronic illness epidemic, and I couldn't put it away. I just kept looking at it and saying, what's going on here? You know, it's a global phenomenon. Started here in the US like a lot of other trends, but going global, you know. If you look at the statistics on all these illnesses, they're India, China, Africa, across the world, it's catching up. So I just couldn't put that down, and my curiosity took me towards, all right, so what's the solution? And it led me to look at some public companies, which is where I was investing, but I didn't see the solutions there. I just saw Band-Aids on geysers. So I started looking at earlier stage businesses, and before I knew it, I became a venture capitalist, and I had to learn a whole new trade, meet new people, and hear new stories. And it's been an incredible journey. One of the things was I had problems sleeping at some point, I think when my kids were born. And yeah, and I heard about this, you know, this ring that helps to track sleep. And how I heard about it was I was at a bar in LA, and I saw these really hip-looking guys wearing this ring. And that's not my thing. I'm usually drawn to people, what jewelry they wear and yada yada. But I went up to him and I asked him about it, and it turned out to be the Oura ring. And this is in the 20-teens. So I just dug into it, and I realized how much they do to track sleep, and started to figure out what their game plan was, and then went about trying to find how to get involved and invest in that company. And you know, each day, each week, they just do amazing things that I'm just so blown away by what they've been able to accomplish in the past 5 to 10 years. And it gives me hope that there's other ways and other solutions. You know, I loved your talk. By the way, I have a similar story with a crazy car. I mean, I had a Dodge Challenger, like I'm colorblind, but it was like sky blue or something with tinted windows and South Carolina plates. And I had the idea to go with my girlfriend. We were upstate New York, and I had the idea to check out Sing Sing Prison because it's a famous place. And so I pull away from the place, and before I know it, I'm like surrounded by cops. You know, tinted window. I don't know what they thought, but I wasn't that, thankfully, not that day. And so, so let's see. Yeah, Aura. You know, one of the challenges I have in the business I do is every day I get to meet inspired entrepreneurs that are really trying to make a difference. And then I have to balance the mission with capitalism. And, you know, that's a tricky one because, you know, you want to back all these different ideas, but you still got to find the ones that are going to actually make it to that next level. And to this day, that's always been my biggest challenge. I don't like saying no, but I also need to have some money in my pocket. So, you know, I'd say I conclude with what makes, what I care about today after doing VC for a number of years, you know, give or take 10 years, is I don't necessarily love the solutions that are out there. I think living a healthier life can be more affordable, can be more available. You know, again, going back to your talk, these things can be so much more accessible. And we do spend gazillion dollars on healthcare and wellness and, from the food, all that. But yet we're not really, our numbers they're not really improving. So I've been spending my days lately trying to not recreate the wheel, but from the universe of people that I've met who are doing really interesting things, just trying to maybe partner with them to make these things a little bit more available, so it's not just a solution for the 1%. And anyway, that's what I got for you.